Dame i gospodo, dobro večer. It's Charles here, coming at you from Novi Sad, from my beautiful little apartment that I just cleaned up this weekend. It was my first weekend home. I've been all over the place, man. I haven't made a video. You guys haven't seen my beautiful face for so long. And I'm sitting here eating some reindeer jerky from Norway. Can you read it? I bet you can't because it's in Norwegian, except that one little line. William Jacobson, one of my best friends here, he's a medical student, always brings me a gift. When he comes home from Norway, he brought me this beer. Also, it's beautiful. Harstad, people. He's from way at the top of Norway, very proud Serbian, very proud Norwegian, with some Serbian blood in his family tree. But he brings me things. Beautiful beer, by the way, Nicola. So anyway, this beer is going to keep me company while I give you an update on what's been happening here in Serbia. There's been so much stuff happening this year. 2018 has been busy for me. It's been busy for Serbia. Let's talk about some of it. Wanna? I even got notes. I got some notes for this video. Anyway, this has been a busy year, 2018. We got some positives. We got some negatives going on. Let's start positive because I'm a positive guy. Wanna? Last time you guys saw me probably what? I was in RTS. Yesterday I was on RTV. I was on N1. I was in Blitz. I was in Informer. I've been everywhere, but on my own channel, you know? And I know you guys miss me, you know? I'm a likable guy, I think. Anyway, some of the positives. You know what? Let's not start positive. Let's start negative because this is one of the oldest things that happened here. Oliver Ivanovic, down in Kosovo. Oliver Ivanovic was assassinated, shot 6 times. Oliver Ivanovic was one of the Serbian in Kosovo I Metohija, the leading Serbian politician down there. He was a member of Social Democratic Party, SDP, I believe is the political party down there. He was assassinated. There's been a lot of rumors, and I'm not going to get into any of that because I don't want to get assassinated too. But there's been talk. Back in July of 2017, his car was burned, and 4 of the people in his political, his entourage, his political party, left. They dropped out due to intimidation. So there's been talk. Some people think maybe it was something to do with Serbians that assassinated him. The others think it was the Albanians, of course. So who knows? But bad news, you know. Hashim Taci and the new prime minister, they made some comments about how it was a despicable act and all that. So anyway, terrible stuff. So all my well wishes and my sympathy goes out to the family of the Ivanovic and all the Kosovo Serbs down there. What a terrible loss. Speaking of Kosovo I Metohija, yesterday, or the 17th, was their 10-year anniversary, their separation from Serbia, their declaration that they wanted to leave Serbia. It was 10 years. It was a really good article in the New York Times. It talked about how 10 years later, things are just terrible in Kosovo. Not making fun of that. I'm not making light of the situation. I laughed, didn't I? But how things have not been good for them. I feel like an asshole now. Anyway, speaking of that, on the 10-year anniversary, a couple days before, Barbados, the tiny little island there in the in the Caribbean, or Caribbean, however you want to say it. I say Caribbean. The little island of Barbados, they jumped on the bandwagon. They recognized Kosovo, which was kind of an insult. And the Serbian government sent a not-so-friendly message to Barbados condemning that. But another country countered this movement on the day, the 17th. Burundi, the little African country, Ivica Dačić was proud to announce that Burundi has switched from being pro-independence to revoking their recognition of Kosovo. So Kosovo maybe gained one, but they also lost one. What else happened? Morgan Freeman's in the news, and not positively. I always liked the guy. Some of my Serbian students, one of my Serbian students, actually able to meet him because he's on the island in Nantucket where I go in the summer. But Morgan Freeman, he does a story, it's called The Story of Us. It's on National Geographic. And just recently he was in the news because he was making some statements about the Serbians. He was meeting with this Bosnian documentary writer, documentary maker, I forget the guy's name, but it was very critical of the Serbians. It was discussing Srebrenica with no mention of what the atrocities that Nasser Oric or the Bosnians committed against the Serbians, of course, very one-sided. And Morgan Freeman, being like a typical American, acts like, oh, he knows everything, and makes statements on it, which is just disgusting, you know? And funny statement I gotta mention. Do you know Alexander Mandic? He's a Serbian filmmaker. He made a comment about Americans, about Morgan Freeman, what Morgan Freeman said. And here's what he said. He said, when this magazine asked him, they said, what do you think of Morgan Freeman's comments? And he said, you know, when we talk about American people, he said, American people are pretentiously incompetent. He says, major nations typically think they are smarter than everyone and they know everything. I'll bet in reality they are ordinary ignoramuses, okay? Another quote he had, he said, a person, talking about Americans, have no idea, American has no idea what he is saying, but he behaves as if he knows everything. The most amusing and at the same time most terrible thing is that they aren't burdened by any of the consequences either, from their words or from bombing or death. So, pretty tough statement on Americans, Mr. Mandic, but I agree with some of it. Anyway, that's going on there. Johnny Depp is in the news also. There's going to be a documentary here about the 1999 bombing of Serbia. And there's talk that Johnny Depp might be in this, and I really hope that happens because that's going to really open a lot of Americans' eyes onto what happened. So Johnny Depp, my brother, please get involved in this. I think that would be an excellent, excellent thing. I don't know how close they are to getting him or if they even are. But anyway, that's interesting stuff, huh? Bogdan Bogdanovic, some sports news, some basketball. When you think of Serbia, most people around the world now are thinking of basketball. You got Bogdan Bogdanovic, who's playing for Sacramento Kings. He just won the MVP in the world versus the U.S. They won like 155 to 124. And he had like 26 points, won the MVP. So that was awesome, Mr. Bogdanovic. And then Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets is also in the news, man. He was the quickest guy ever in history to get a triple-double. He did it in like 14 minutes. And he blew the old record away. The old record was like 17 minutes. So Jokic is having a phenomenal year. I think that's his 5th triple-double of the year so far. And what else do we have here in Serbia? Oh my God, and then today, just read this. A guy named Chase Paul Garcia, some scumbag American piece of shit, sexual predator, was caught here. He was on America's Most Wanted. He was caught in the mountains in southern Serbia. He said he came here because he didn't think there was an extradition treaty between the U.S. and Serbia. So he was here, and they just caught him today, so they're sending him back there, that sick piece of shit. I wish they would have strung him up and killed him here in Serbia. But anyway, that's the news in 8 minutes and 30 seconds. That's what's been happening here in the last 2 months here in Serbia, my friends. Anyway, I'll see you a little bit more for more later. Do viđenja. Mwah.